Have you ever stood on a high balcony, or perhaps at the sharp, jagged edge of a cliff, looking down at the crushing drop below? And in that moment, for just a split second, a terrifying, unbidden thought flashes across your mind. What if I just stepped off? You aren't suicidal. You don't actually want to die. In fact, you might be having a perfectly lovely day, perhaps enjoying a nice gelato or a beautiful sunset. But that sudden, intrusive urge, that whisper from the abyss, is so vivid, it makes you take a physical step back, your heart hammering against your ribs like a trapped bird. In France, they have a hauntingly beautiful name for this, l'appel du vide, or the call of the void. It is one of the most disturbing glitches a human can experience because it feels like a fundamental betrayal by your own soul. It makes you question your sanity. You think, am I secretly broken? Do I have a hidden darkness I don't know about? But what if I told you that this death wish is actually the opposite? What if it's a sign that your brain is incredibly healthy, hyper-alert, and absolutely obsessed with keeping you alive? I'm Willow, and today on the Clever Clover, we're staring directly into the abyss to find out why your brain scares you into staying safe. Let's look into the darkness to find the light, shall we? Before we count down the reasons for this glitch, we need to understand the signal error. The call of the void isn't a desire to die. It's a misunderstood safety warning from a very fast, very nervous part of your anatomy. Your brain effectively has two main systems: the fast, lizard brain autopilot, the amygdala, and the slow, logical captain, the prefrontal cortex. When you stand on a ledge, your autopilot detects a lethal threat before you even consciously realize how high up you are. It sends a massive electric jolt of get back to your muscles. But here's where the glitch happens. By the time your logical captain catches up, the danger is already over because you've already reflexively stepped back. Your brain is then left with a massive leftover surge of adrenaline and no clear reason for it. It tries to explain why you just had a life or death panic response. It looks at the situation and thinks, I must have wanted to jump, otherwise, why was I so terrified? It's a retrospective logic error. You didn't want to jump. You just interpreted your survival instinct in reverse. It's like a smoke alarm going off, and you assuming there was a fire, even if it was just a bit of dust. Your brain is a storyteller, and sometimes it tells a horror story to explain a safety drill. Number 8. The high place phenomenon. I want to reassure you right now, this isn't just a you thing. You aren't a glitch in the system. The system itself is designed this way. In 2012, researchers at Florida State University officially coined the term high place phenomenon, after studying hundreds of individuals to see just how common this was. They discovered something startling. Over 50% of people who have never had a suicidal thought in their lives, people who are generally happy and stable, still experience the call of the void regularly. It's a universal human experience that transcends culture, language, and geography. Whether you're on top of the Eiffel Tower, looking out of a skyscraper in Tokyo, or standing at the rim of the Grand Canyon, the glitch remains the same. The study also found a fascinating correlation. The more sensitive you are to your body's internal signals, like your heart rate or the feeling of your breath, the more likely you are to hear the call. Your brain is simply hyper-tuned to the environment. It's a high-performance engine that revs a little too high when it gets close to a boundary. You aren't broken. You're just very, very aware of being alive. Number 7. The speed of fear. This glitch happens because your brain has a dual-lane highway for processing information, and one lane is much faster than the other. Fear travels at the speed of light, while thought travels at the speed of a Sunday stroll. Your amygdala, the ancient walnut-sized alarm system in your brain, can process a threat and trigger a physical reaction in about 20 milliseconds. That is faster than you can blink. Your conscious mind, the part of you that thinks in words, takes about 200 to 500 milliseconds to catch up. That's a massive gap in brain time. In that tiny window, your body has already reacted to the height, your muscles have tensed, and your heart has skipped a beat. But the you part of you hasn't received the memo yet. The call of the void is basically your conscious mind frantically trying to find a reason for a physical reaction that has already happened. It's like hearing a loud bang and then trying to guess what blew up after you've already ducked for cover. Your brain says, I jumped back, so I must have wanted to jump forward. It's a clumsy attempt at making sense of a lightning-fast reflex. Number 6. The intrusive thought loop. The call of the void is a classic example of an intrusive thought. These are the dark, random, and often bizarre what-if scenarios our brains generate thousands of times a day. Your brain is a possibility machine. It's constantly running simulations of what could happen to help you navigate the world. Usually we have a very efficient filter. You might think, what if I threw my phone into the ocean? Or, what if I suddenly started singing opera in this quiet library? And you just laugh it off. The problem with the ledge is that the stakes are so high that your brain tags the thought as incredibly important. Because you're trying so hard not to think about jumping, you end up thinking about it more. It's a psychological quirk called ironic process theory. It's the classic don't think of a pink elephant problem. The more you try to suppress a thought, the more your brain has to check in to see if you're still suppressing it, which brings the thought right back to the surface. Your brain isn't tempting you, it's performing a safety check. It's basically saying, hey, just checking, we're still not jumping, right? Cool, just checking again. Still no? Great. Number 5. The vestibular glitch. Sometimes the call isn't just in your mind, it's a physical hardware error in your ears. Your vestibular system is the intricate machinery in your inner ear that keeps you balanced and tells you where up is. When you stand on a high cliff or balcony, your eyes see a vast open space with no nearby objects, like trees or buildings, to help you judge distance or stability. Your eyes tell your brain, we are floating in a void. But your inner ear and the soles of your feet tell your brain, no, we are standing on solid, unmoving ground. This massive conflict between your eyes and your ears creates a sense of vertigo. Your brain gets motion sick while standing perfectly still. To resolve this confusing sensory data, your brain might suggest a radical recalibration, a small movement to see if the ground is actually there. Your conscious mind interprets this physical wobble or urge to lean as an urge to jump. It's a sensory hardware conflict that results in a terrifying software error. Your body is just trying to find its balance, but your mind thinks it's looking for the bottom. Number 4. The social edge. Interestingly, the call of the void isn't restricted to physical heights. We feel it in social situations too. Have you ever been in a high-stakes meeting, at a funeral, or a very formal dinner and had the sudden, terrifying urge to just do something unforgivable, like dumping a bowl of soup on your boss or shouting something inappropriate during a moment of silence? This is the social version of the jump. It's your brain recognizing a social cliff, a boundary that, if crossed, would destroy your reputation and change your life forever. Because your brain is so fixated on the importance of that boundary, it pre-visualizes crossing it just to understand exactly where the danger lies. It's a simulation run by a brain that is fundamentally terrified of social exile. In the Stone Age, being kicked out of the tribe was a death sentence, so your brain is hyper-aware of the actions that would get you banished. It's not that you want to ruin your life, it's that your brain is so focused on not ruining your life that it accidentally shows you a movie of you doing exactly that. It's the ultimate what-if nightmare. Number 3. The action bias. Humans are biologically evolved for movement and reaction, not for standing perfectly still in high-stress, high-danger zones. When you're at a ledge, your body is flooded with cortisol and adrenaline. Your fight-or-flight system is screaming at 100% volume. You have all this explosive go energy with absolutely nowhere to put it. You're just standing there. This creates something called action bias. Your brain would rather do anything, literally anything, than stay in a state of frozen, agonizing tension. The thought of jumping is just your brain suggesting the most active thing possible in that specific environment. It's like a car engine revving in neutral. The energy has to go somewhere, and your imagination is the only exhaust pipe available. You aren't choosing death. You're just struggling with the sheer, vibrating intensity of being alive in a moment of high stakes. Your brain is saying, we have to move now. And since forward is the most obvious direction, it's the first thing it suggests. Number 2, the empathy leap. One of the most fascinating things about the call of the void is that we don't just feel it for ourselves, we feel it on behalf of others. Have you ever watched a video of a daredevil walking on a crane, or seen a friend stand a little too close to the edge of a pier, and felt that sharp, cold jolt in your own stomach? Your mirror neurons, the parts of your brain responsible for empathy and understanding the actions of others, actually simulate the fall for you. You feel the void because your brain is mirroring their potential danger. This is the ultimate proof that the glitch is about safety, not a desire for harm. If the call of the void were truly about a secret wish to jump, why would we feel it when someone else is in danger? We feel it because our brains are hardwired to perceive the fall as a total catastrophe. We are practicing the fear and the reaction so that we can avoid the reality. It's a shared biological warning system that connects us all through the fear of the fall. And finally, number 1, the survival affirmation. This is the most important part of the glitch to hold on to when the whisper gets too loud. The call of the void isn't a sign that you are broken, dark, or leaning toward an end. It is actually the sound of your survival instinct working at 100% capacity. The reason the thought of jumping is so loud, so intrusive, and so terrifying is precisely because your brain values your life so much. If you didn't care about staying alive, the thought wouldn't be scary. It would be quiet. It would be a non-event. The massive wave of terror you feel immediately after the thought, the way you gasp and step back, is your brain's way of saying, wow, that would be a total disaster. Let's never, ever do that. Look how much we have to lose. It is a profound, albeit twisted, affirmation of your will to live. When you stare into the void, and the void calls back, your fear is the answer. It's your brain's way of shouting, I love being alive. You aren't staring at your end. You're realizing for the first time in a while exactly how much you love your beginning. So, the next time you're in a high place, or a high-stakes social situation, and that weird, dark whisper starts, don't panic. Don't let it make you think you're someone you're not. Just take a step back, take a deep, grounding breath, and thank your brain for being such an overdramatic, slightly clumsy, but very loyal bodyguard. If you've ever felt the call of the void, or any other forbidden, intrusive thought that made you question your sanity, leave a comment below. Let's make everyone feel a little less weird together. Let's normalize the glitches. It helps the Clever Clover grow, and it reminds us all that our brains are just messy, beautiful machines, trying their absolute best to keep us here. Subscribe for more glitches in our Why Your Brain is Broken series. I'm Willow, and until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and mind yourself. Keep your feet on the ground and your heart in the right place.